Okay, I'm just going to trust the setup now. I did push the audio by 300 milliseconds, so I don't know if that's going to be then out of sync once the stream stops. But let's hope it won't. So let's jump in. Let's finally actually jump into the editing part of this stream. If you have a fresh drink like me, join me in a little bit of Thursday afternoon relaxation. All right, so I do have something prepped here. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult than usual because I have one tutorial, one live stream session where I marked down 3 clips that I wanted to use, but I don't remember what they were. And now that it's been a while since that stream, I double don't remember what they were. So I'm gonna have to find the section that I thought might be interesting for the what was I gonna say? For the video. For a tutorial, sorry. While I'm doing things and talking at the same time, sometimes it's a little difficult. I'm messing up the thumbnail for the... Actually, why am I doing this? I'm gonna undo that. Instead, what I'm going to do is... I'm going to make this smaller. And then I'm going to bring this audio down so I have some space for another video track. What is happening? No, I want to duplicate it. When you're dragging and holding Alt, it will duplicate in Premiere. And I want a second audio track, and then I'll just elongate this so that it's right at the beginning. Okay. Now I've got my whole live stream here, and now what I want to do, I'm gonna scrub through this and look at spots where I'm often looking in the camera. Those are usually the spots where I'm trying to explain something. And that's fine. I was going to maybe turn off the audio, but oh, I can switch between audio and video, nice. I'm gonna zoom in because if I'm zoomed out too much, it scrubs through a lot of bits at the same time. What am I talking about here? When this is starting, something like that? Okay, at this point I'm just animating. So I think that's what I want to achieve. Okay. I'm not talking a lot. Oh, I'm talking, but I'm not particularly looking in the camera, so I'm gonna scrub through this. Here, I'm looking in the camera quite a lot, so let's have a look, see what I have to say. Maybe we can just leave it that way. I think this is something that I would probably want to come back to if it really bothers me. Right now, my first instinct is fix it, but actually I shouldn't, because in a regular client environment, you would do a quick pass. Okay, yes. So I'm talking about the stages of a animation project. So I think this is the first one I want to include. Add a regular client like here. In a regular client environment, you would do a quick pass of an animation or blocking or an animatic. So these are all terms for doing a rough pass of the animation. Then you would hand that over to the client so that they can have an idea of where the animation is going, and so they can give early feedback, because before you invested a lot of work in the animation. Then with that feedback, you would
make adjustments, you would clean up the animation, and you would add the detail. Right now, I'm not following that structure because Andy isn't strictly a client. Yes, we kind of have a somewhat designer-client relationship because I am making it for him, but because it's not a commercial project, we're just doing it for fun for both of our YouTube channels, it's not a strictly client relationship, so I am inclined to just go in and do all of the details that I want to do because it's also just for me, for fun, for you, to learn something from it. So, but if I was to do this for a client, I would not go in and fix this detail, and I would just move on to the next thing that I needed to do to get that rough pass of the entire animation, and then I would go in and clean that up and make adjustments to it and refine the details. So that's how I would go about animating the first pass before adding details to it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about how I want to... Actually, I'm not gonna cut it there. Instead, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drag this and I'm gonna put it here, for example. And trying to make space in my timeline. My timeline is so tight here. I don't understand why I can't move this higher up. Like, I wish I could move this one up, like I can move this one here. Don't understand why that doesn't work, but okay. Why can't I drag this down to another audio track? I want another audio track. Okay, then I can drag this over here. No. What? Oh, okay. Right. This is the one I was just... So that's one. And then I'm pretty sure there should be two more where I'm explaining something that I thought was quite useful. So let's keep scrubbing through. And I'm talking about something here as well.
Yeah, why not? Let's start with the server. So this is the out animation. Let's give this a marker here. And in order to get this composition, mark a window out, you hit Alt and the star or multiply symbol on your numeric keypad. So you have an extended keyboard with the numerical pad on the side. You have to divide it minus plus and multiply with the little star symbol. So you can hit that together with Alt to get this.
Okay, I'm talking about how to use markers. I think that's quite useful. Why not? Let's start with the server. So this is the out animation. Let's give this a marker here. And in order to get this give this a marker here.
Yeah, why not? Let's start with the server. So
oops, nope.
So in that sense, I'm going to close that so that my perfectionist self is going to carry away with it. I need to save, even though I've already saved, or just continue things last time to save. Okay, so this thing is this long, and then oh yes, that's what we need. Okay, and now we need animation off, and I need to figure out how to do that. So the framework, I could just animate these back. I could do that.
So this is the out.
Yeah, why not? Let's start with the server. So this is the so this is the out animation. Let's give this a mark here. And in order to get this composition, mark a window out, you hit Alt and the star or multiply symbol on your numeric keypad. So you have an extended keyboard with the numerical pad on the side. Divided minus plus and multiply, which is a little star symbol. So you can hit that together with Alt to get this comment window out. Write your comment that will then appear on the marker. And to close out that window, you can hit the enter on that numpad as well.
Okay. That's quite... Oh. Undo. Out. That's quite interesting. The only downside of that is that this is a really small little snippet. I might need to combine that with something else. So for now, let's see what that third thing is that I wanted to incorporate.
I did have a look at how to do instant replays, like save clips in OBS, and yes, it's a bit of a tricky situation. I think I've set it up right now, so I can just export. So I've set up a replay buffer on OBS, and I can just hit file, but I get no like blink or a highlight or anything. I get no feedback from OBS that it actually has saved that file. So that's concerning. And second of all, it automatically saves it at my recording file format, which is MKV.
Step, which is
So
why
here
I'm
I'm
not
just
sure it's actually
talking
worth
about
doing that.
the replay buffer. across through this, like reading up on it, is that Streamlabs. I mean, it got so dark in just the last hour or something, and yeah, it was fine before.
So what am I talking about here? I'm looking in the camera.
Go 10 frames forward, and then I'll also something I didn't do, which if you are using inertial bounds or you're scaling your artwork past 100%, which inertial bounds will do if you scale something up to 100% and then put the inertial bounds.
Okay, I'm talking about the continuously rasterize, which is also a good thing.
The middle of summer for it to be this dark, it's 36 around in the evening. Okay, let's go.
Let's see where I'm
10 frames
talking.
forward, and then I'll also something I didn't do, which if you are also something I didn't do, which if you are using inertial bounds or you're scaling your artwork past 100%, which inertial bounds will do if you scale something up to 100% and then put the inertial bounds expression on it, because it will overshoot and then go back to the keyframe that you set as your final keyframe. If you do that with linked Illustrator files, then you should turn on the continuously rasterize icon, because with the inertial bounds it's not so extreme, but if you're scaling past the 100% on your layer, it will blur it. But if you turn it on, it will continuously rasterize, which means it will always keep the Illustrator files or layers sharp, because the vector can be unlimited size, but you can actually do that. It will use a little bit more RAM, I guess, or maybe it'll be a graphics file. I'm not entirely sure what it will affect, but it might slow you down a little bit, so I would only do that when it's necessary, when you know that you're going to be scaling past 100%. And, but yeah, do be aware that you need to do that if you want to have sharp graphics. Okay, so I don't know why I pasted that, because now I need to do it.
Okay, and then I'm talking about something else, so let's...
To have sharp graphics. Okay, so I don't know why I pasted that, because now I need to slow you down a little bit, so I would only do that when it's necessary, when you know that you're going to be scaling past 100%. And but yeah, do be aware that you need to do that if you want to have sharp graphics.
Okay, until there. So I think those are the three things that I wanted to keep, but they're kind of disjointed and they don't quite make sense together. So for now, I think I'm gonna bench these three and see how I can make them into like one tutorial and kind of make sense of them. Yeah. Let's watch this back to see if I can...
In a regular client environment, you would do a quick pass of an animation.
Oh, why can't I see the video here? Oh, it's turned off. Okay, I see. There we go.
In a regular client environment, you would do a quick pass of an animation or blocking or an animatic. So these are all terms for doing a rough pass of the animation. Then you would hand that over to the client so that they can have an idea of where the animation is going, and so they can give early feedback, because before you invested a lot of work in the animation. Then with that feedback, you would make adjustments, you would clean up the animation, and you would add the detail. Right now, I'm not following that structure because Andy isn't strictly a client. Yes, we kind of have a somewhat designer-client relationship because I am making it for him, but because it's not a commercial project, we're just doing it for fun for both of our YouTube channels, it's not a strictly client relationship, so I am inclined to just go in and do all of the details that I want to do, because it's also just for me, for fun, for you, to learn something from it. So, but if I was to do this for a client, I would not go in and fix this detail, and I would just move on to the next thing that I needed to do to get that rough pass of the entire animation, and then I would go in and clean that up and make adjustments to it and refine the details. So that's how I would go about animating the first pass before adding details to it. So this is the out animation. Let's give this a marker here. And in order to get this composition marker window out, you hit Alt and the star or multiply symbol on your numeric keypad. So if you have an extended keyboard with a numerical pad on the side, you have divided, minus, plus, and multiply, which is a little star symbol. So you can hit that together with Alt to get this comment window out, write your comment that will then appear on the marker, and to close out that window, you can hit the Enter on that numpad as well. If you are using inertial bounds or you're scaling your artwork past 100%, which inertial bounds will do if you scale something up to 100% and then put the inertial bounds expression on it, because it will overshoot and then go back to the keyframe that you set as your final keyframe. If you do that with linked Illustrator files, then you should turn on the continuously rasterize icon, because with the inertial bounds it's not so extreme, but if you're scaling past the 100% on your layer, it will blur it. But if you turn it on, it will continuously rasterize, which means it will always keep the Illustrator files or layers sharp, because they're vector, they can be unlimited size, but you need to actually do that. It will use a little bit more RAM, I guess, or maybe it'll be heavier on the graphics card. I'm not entirely sure what it will affect, but it might slow you down a little bit, so I would only do that when it's necessary, when you know that you're going to be scaling past 100%. And but yeah, do be aware that you need to do that if you want to have sharp graphics.
Okay, so I think I can put this together as like one tutorial. I do need to think about it a little bit longer, so I have another set of shots that I'm gonna work on in today's stream. But I am thinking that maybe it could be something along those lines of how to be a more efficient freelancer, or just starting out with animation in After Effects, or something along those lines, like beginner animator using Illustrator or something like that. And then it can have like these 3 lessons, one about a client, one about shortcuts in After Effects, and one about being aware of when you're linking Illustrator files in After Effects, something like that. And I will give this a marker so I know what I'm talking about in these 3 things. And this is going to be approach client project. This one, how do I get to the beginning of a cut? Okay, it's Shift and Home to get to the beginning, to the in point of a clip. And then M for marker, and this is Y. I guess it's this one. This marker is setting markers with comments in AE. And then this one is going to be, what was this one? Continuously rasterize. Yeah, that's a difficult word. Okay, great. I'm gonna save that for now. And I'm going to work on the reverse keyframes instead. And then we have a few more. There is layer hierarchy, there is alpha matte, so there's quite a few more tips that I can throw out at you. And I was clever with the reverse keyframes tutorial that I clipped out the little bit that I want to use here. So let's have a look at this. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add right click time, enable time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do use that quite often, so maybe I should just remember
that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these 2 keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end
of the scene.
What I can do is I can copy paste these keyframes, can right click and
shortcut. And I'm adding these 2 keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I'm wondering at which point I should start this. Time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do right click time, enable time
remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do use that quite often, so maybe I should just remember that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these 2 keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can
yeah, I'm just not sure. Right click time yet. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add. So that's one thing I'm going. That's one thing I'm going to do. Not animated off yet. So that's one thing I'm going to do. Off yet. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to
add right click time, enable time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do use that quite often, so maybe I should just remember that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these 2 keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on.
I don't know. I think often, so maybe I should just remember that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these two keyframes here because
I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I can copy paste these keyframes, I can right click, and it's just off screen for you. Let me scroll up a little bit more. If I right click here, I can go to Keyframe Assistant, and then it toggles open yet another window. Let's see if I make this full screen. I usually don't try and show this because it's often off screen and it's difficult to show this fully, but I'll try and show it once at least. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the two keyframes, you can right click, you can go to Keyframe Assistant, and then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this. At least it can be more than two. And you can right click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse keyframes, and that will just switch the keyframes around. So the beginning will become the end and vice versa. And then I can drag them over here. And if I have more than two keyframes, it's the same thing. It'll just reverse all of the keyframes dependent on the first and the last. You can also do that just with keyframes outside of a keyframe set. So if I had two more or however many more in between these two keyframes, I could also reverse just the outer ones, or just two in between, whichever way I'd want that to be. But obviously I just want the animation to go backwards, so I just want these two. And I can actually make it a little bit faster. The off animation can always be a little bit faster than the in animation. So I'm gonna check 1, 2, 3. So it's 30 frames apart. But obviously I just want the animation to go backwards, so I just want these two. And I can actually make it a little bit faster.
Ah! wrong keyboard shortcut. Want these two. And I can actually make it a little bit and I can actually make it a little bit faster. And I can actually make it a little... Okay, so, let's see. And I'm adding these two keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I can copy paste these keyframes, I can right click, and it's... And I'm adding these two keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I can copy paste these... I don't know if I should include the part about the time reverse.
Oh, now my After Effects is
and this text is not animated off yet. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add... Right-click time, right-click time, enable time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt. And this text is not animated off yet, so that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add right-click time. So that's one thing I'm going to add. So that's one thing I'm going to do. Okay, let's just take it from here. That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add right-click time, enable time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do use that quite often, so maybe I should just remember that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these two keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I can copy paste these keyframes, I can right click, and it's just off screen for you. Let me scroll. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that. That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add I can copy paste these keyframes. I think I'm just gonna cut right to where it's full screen. This because it's often off screen and it's difficult to show this fully, but I'll try and show it once at least. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one, and once at least. So what you can do, yeah. So just remove all of that. That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add right-click time, enable time remapping, and you can also use Control-Alt-T. I do use that quite often, so maybe I should just remember that keyframe shortcut. And I'm adding these two keyframes here because I want. No, I think you're gonna take it out. After all. And I'm adding these two keyframes here because I want to animate this backwards later on, and I can reverse those keyframes as they are. So this is the end of the scene. What I can do is I can copy paste these keyframes. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one. Or I just keep this one. I don't know. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the two keyframes, you can right-click, you can go to Keyframe Assistant, and then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this.
No, I haven't actually.
Just going to cut this little pause out.
I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this. At least it can be more than two. And you can right-click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse keyframes, and that will just switch the keyframes around. So the beginning will become the end, and vice versa. And then I can drag them over here. And if I have more than two keyframes, it's the same thing. It'll just reverse all of the keyframes dependent on the first and the last. You can also do that just with keyframes outside of a keyframe set. So if I had two more or however many more in between these two keyframes, I could also reverse just the outer ones, or just two in between, whichever way I want that to be. But obviously I just want the animation to go backwards, so I just want these two. The way I want that to be, but obviously I just want just two in between, whichever way I want that to be. But obviously I just want the animation to go backwards, so I just want these two.
Make it a little bit faster. The off animation. So
reverse just the outer ones, or just two in between, whichever way I want that to be. But I want that to be, but I want that to be.
So it's like right until here is really where I want it to be. But the audio needs, it's kind of cutting out, so I'm just going to put a bezier on this. So it's not like immediately cut out, it's just a little bit softer.
To be.
Cool. And I will just leave it like this for the tutorial one, the extended version of this. And then I will create a duplicate of that. And this will be the short, and I'll try and fit that within 1 minute. So I just need to cut out something here or there.
So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the two keyframes, you can right-click, you can go to Keyframe Assistant, and then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this. At least it can be more than two. Go to Keyframe Assistant.
Maybe I can cut this out. Let's see. Highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this.
No.
You need two keyframes.
And then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. You need two keyframes for this. At least it can be more than two. And you can right-click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse keyframes, and that will just switch
click. You can this the two keyframes. You can right-click the distance between the two keyframes. And then, oh, I haven't actually. Let's see.
The distance between the two keyframes, and then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes, and then keyframes, and then, oh, I haven't. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the two keyframes, and then, oh, I haven't actually highlighted the two. Then, oh, then. The distance between the two keyframes. Oh, I haven't actually highlighted two keyframes. Oh, I haven't. Using the distance between the two keyframes. Oh, I haven't actually.
I'm going to put a. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to do that. Oh no, what's happening? No, I need to, oh god. Workspaces, I need this one. I want to put a bit of, an effect on the audio, so it it's like a fade or like a cross dissolve, but on the audio, cross fade, constant power. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just so this, like, oops, that's the wrong one. I want it to be I want it to be on here so that this like cut off audio like sounds a little bit smoother, and I'll make it very, very small. So I haven't actually the two keyframes. So I haven't actually. That sounds kind of weird. Okay, maybe it does need just a tiny little bit more space here. No, I can't make this longer. Two keyframes. So I haven't frames. I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. I haven't actually highlighted. I don't know what the difference between these fades are. I'm just trying different ones right now. I haven't the two keyframes. I haven't actually highlighted the two keyframes. And if it's not at 1 minute yet, it isn't. I can remove this little space here as well, just to make it slightly tighter. Two keyframes. I haven't actually highlighted
The two keyframes, you need two keyframes for this. At least it can be more than two. And you can right-click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse keyframes, and that will just switch the keyframes. So the beginning will be the end and vice versa. And then I can drag them over here. If I have more than two keyframes, it's the same thing. It'll just reverse all the keyframes depending on the first and the last. You can also do that just with keyframes outside of the keyframes. If I had two more or however many more in between these two keyframes, I can also reverse just the outer ones, so just two in between, whichever way I want.
Ah, okay. We are at 1 minute now. Okay, cool. So it's actually finished at this point for the short. Save, and now I can go into the little folder I created for that, and it doesn't have all of the naming, so now I'm going to do that. It's part of my workflow for this tutorial creation process. And there is an underscore missing. So but that shouldn't be the... That's so strange. There's like way more audio right here. Oh, I see. I'm just gonna fix this even though I already exported this and I don't really need to fix it. I do want to make sure that if I want to export this out again, it's correct. And that was the thumbnail for that. And now I just need to go through all of these and kind of just replace them. So this is the Keyframes tutorial. And it ends... No, this needs to be the short, actually. Sorry. And this isn't there. And yeah, I need to transcribe this. Definitely for the short, and later on for the tutorial as well once I have the intro clip. So let's transcribe that. It's going to take a moment, and in the meantime I can replace the rest of these. So for the short we have this. And for this I need to move so I think I need to actually move this across so you don't see my face, but instead you see this. I mean, I could keep my face there as well if I really wanted to. I think I did that for one of these. I don't know which one. Wasn't for that. Oh, that's the story, that's not the short. No, didn't do it for that one. Short. Didn't do it for that one. I think I did it for the noise reduction, where I like kept the little image of myself, but also kept the screen. No, for this I was just moving. Okay, I can just put a little cutout there. So let's do that actually. It's the reverse keyframes, but this is in the wrong spot. And I think I've fixed this already, so I'm going to duplicate this other sequence because the positioning, I don't know if you can see. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Overwrite, replace. Ooh, fancy. Where am I? Here. So the story one is going to be this one. The position of the video is a little higher than it should be. And in order not to fiddle around with that, I can just take one where the position is correct and then just replace the video. Oh wow, this is like really zoomed in. Okay, I don't need that. I want to replace this video. There we go. Done. Okay, now it's in the right position. Let's save. And then what would I like to do? Yeah, let's go back into the short. And it should have transcribed this now. Let's listen back in case there's just some typos or something.
So what you can do to reverse keyframes instead of just dragging this
keyframes. And let's put some punctuation in there as well.
Keyframes instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the two keyframes. We haven't actually highlighted
2 keyframes, and let's put an ellipses here. Sorry, I've got my screen blocker turned on. Dragging this one in front of that one and then losing the distance between the 2 keyframes. I haven't actually highlighted the 2 keyframes. It's one word. Keyframes. You need 2 keyframes for this. At least. I'm like interrupting myself multiple times. I don't know what to do with the punctuation for that. I haven't actually highlighted the 2 keyframes. You need at least 2 keyframes for this at least. At least. Can be more than 2. Okay.
At least it can be more than 2, and you can right-click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse key.
Right-click Keyframe Assistant. And that will
Click Keyframe Assistant and time reverse keyframes, and that will just switch the keyframes around. So the beginning will become the end and vice versa. And then I can drag them over here, and if I have more than 2 keyframes, it's the same thing. It'll just reverse all of the keyframes dependent on the first and the last. You can also do that just with keyframes outside.
I hate that it separates the words key and frames. It's one word.
Keyframes, and that will just switch the keyframes around. So
Keyframes. Keyframes around.
Keyframes around. So the beginning will become the end and vice versa. And then I can drag them over here, and if I have more than 2 keyframes, it's the same thing. It'll just reverse all of the keyframes dependent frames dependent on the first and the last. You can also do that just with keyframes outside of a keyframe set. So if I had 2 more
Of you? Why does it say of
frame
you?
sets,
So if you had 2 keyframes, I could also reverse just the outer ones. Okay,
keyframes, I could also reverse just the outer ones, or just 2 in between, whichever way I'd want that to be.
Okay, cool. So that's done. I can save that as a text file in my folder. It's the reverse keyframes folder, and I actually need the name. And this is the short text. Save. And now I can create captions for that. Create. Now we can save that as a subtitle file. Subs. And then I will turn this off for now because I don't want these to show up here. But where I want them is here. Actually, no, I don't want them here. I want them in the story. Oh no, that's the wrong... It's the wrong sequence. I want them in the story, this one. Position 1. B. That's where I want them. What do they look like? Perfect. Oh no! Why is it making it 3 lines? It's not supposed to be 3 lines. So what you can do to reverse keyframes, instead of just dragging this one in front of that one and then losing... Whoa, 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 why... What? That is so weird. That's not supposed to happen. Why is it like 3 lines? It's supposed to be 2 lines at a maximum. Okay, so that's so strange. Why is it doing that? I think I need to actually adjust the create captions. The maximum amount of characters here. Maybe I'll just need to bring this down. Let's remove that. Okay. So, let's see if that's better. And I need... Okay, close this one, the one for story. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, why? Okay, I just need to turn it off here so we don't see it in the little window. Okay, and this zoom is actually just too much zoom. We don't see the full thing, so I need to, or the scale, we can need to bring this down a little bit more. Come on. So that we see the full scale here. And I just want 2 frames without the subtitles so that I can use that as when I'm uploading it for to Instagram as a post. And I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna go to the post and let's also check what the scale on this was. 58. I'm gonna use the same scale, 58. Alright, so we've got that. And then I think what I'm also going to do is bring this link a tiny little bit higher. Footer control. So what does that look like? I want it to be below this yellow guide, but not quite so low. But I think this is fine. Save. So I've got the post, I've got the short. I don't have the short yet because I decided. Okay, so what I want is a, what's it called? An alpha adjust, I think. So then this has an alpha adjust, and I want a 4-point mask, and I need to zoom in here a little bit because I can't see if it's at the edge or not. And I want the feather to be 0, and then I can have my face and I can move this across so I can see both. Oh, I don't see this. Now I see this. Oh, but it's not working. Okay, I want to move this one. Huh? What's happening? Why is it still moving that? Okay, something's not working correctly. I don't know what it is. It should be like this. Okay, that's super weird. I don't know what's going on. So... what? Oh, I've got two masks here. Why? Oh, okay, that's why. Alright, so weird stuff is happening. Okay, now we've got it. Okay, that way I can keep my face and I've got the video here. Odd. Okay, I just need to make sure that this whole thing is actually in view. So it's going to have to be like this. Yeah, let's go like that. Out. Okay, done. All right, give me a second. I need a snack, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so we've got all of those. Now for the thumbnail, which is the 9x16 thumbnail. And why do I use that? What do I use that for? I think the 9x16 thumbnail should actually look like this. Yeah, Tutorial Tuesday. So this is the idea of that. So I'll duplicate this and I'll put it in here. And the 9x16 thumbnail we don't need anymore, so now it's this one. And it's essentially what do I need of these things here? What is this? I don't think I need this. So I need the short in here. And I want the moment where I'm right clicking, like this. This is a great. And I'm gonna use that. What is that other blue one? Oh, okay. Okay, so let's go back to I have too many scenes open. Sequences. Okay, I can close this one, I can close this one, and then we're here. And this is the shortcut, and I'm just going to move this across and up. Let's zoom in, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so in out, this is the thumbnail for the IGTV post, which is a 9:16, but the thumbnail needs to be like this. And I haven't even opened my snack yet. Now we have the 9:16 short thumbnail. I don't think I'm doing that anymore. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder anyway. Oh, using this. I didn't use this. This is weird. I don't know why I've got this for. This is the one I'm using now, the tutorial thumbnail. This is the full tutorial. Stream short. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be the tutorial thumbnail, but I have a much better version of that now, so that's what I'm gonna use. I don't think I need this anymore. Save. Okay, and then for this, what I need to do is replace this with one of them. Doesn't really matter which one. And find the and I just need to move it in position. And for the text, I think I'm using this. Oh, what is this? Why do I only have one text control in here? Where's the bottom text? Where's my bottom text? What is happening with this? Why do I only have 3 controls here? What is going on? Oh, I'm not using this. Ah. That's too big. I could also... Where's the image coming from? That's so odd. There should be another video layer. What's the other side here? Where's that coming from? This is so odd. Is it this one? Opacity. Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay. So I could use the intro for this image from this video, maybe. Reveal in project. Is that an option here? Reveal in project. Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah, like maybe this one. Sure. That way I don't have to do like a whole other intro bit. Let's put that... I mean, I will do another intro for this, but I don't need to find another image. Because this is pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. So it's at 32:13. Okay. What just happened? Is it here? Oh, okay. There we go. Alright. And I can move it a little bit. Oh. There we go. Scale this out. Yeah. scale this to 90 and then I'll bring the crop in a little bit more. Cool, thumbnail done. I think it's preferable to take the thumbnail from this from the original video that the tutorial is from instead of from the intro. All right, and now, friends, I think I need to use this. I will duplicate this because I think this is a better tutorial setup. No, not the thumb. Not the thumb. I don't want the thumbnail. I want the tutorial setup from the other sequence. Because then we've got the tutorial here. What? How long is this video? Why is this so long? Where's the marker? Huh. That's really strange. I don't know what's going on with this. Just gonna remove that. I'm just gonna bring the tutorial in here. Why is that so long? What is happening with this? Ah! Something's weird. Okay, there we go. Finally. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay, and I just want to check what happened here. What is this? Ah, yes, right. I need a...
So what you can do to reverse keyframes is drag it.
Yeah, that's fine. All I need is an intro now. Because I'm not using this one. Now I just have to figure out how to do the intro correctly. Okay. Let's go back to this screen. See if I can make my hair look a little bit more cute. Oh, I don't know what's going on back here. cute messy, but not messy messy. You know what I mean? Can't figure out where I am touching because my video is reversed. Okay. This is good. And this is also good. Maybe not. I hope this doesn't look too weird. Okay, yeah, that looks fine. Let's turn the... Oh, what's this? Is this over here? Okay. Let's just put that back here. Sorry. Okay. I will turn off my lower third for now because I want to add it later on. And now let's think about what I actually want to say. So what is this trick helping? Back in the day when I didn't know how to reverse keyframes, back in the day when I didn't know how to reverse keyframes, I just dragged the back keyframe forward and reverse the animation that way, or I'd use the graph editor to highlight keyframes and kind of drag them so they end up in the opposite position, and that was always really awkward because the distances between the keyframes were never the same and it was just really fiddly. Well, now I have a way better solution for you to reverse keyframes in After Effects, and I'll show you how that works now. Yeah, something like that. I like that. My hair is a little fluffy on this side. Oh, let me pin that better so it doesn't look so fluffy. No, that side's fine. It's this side that's weird. Oh yeah, this one's not an issue, it's this one. Okay, I think I look okay. Okay, let's think about, I'm gonna write a rough script in like a notepad so that I roughly know what I want to say. So, whoops. It's a really bright, yeah, okay, so, when I was starting out with After Effects, no. Often when you want to create an in-animation of I don't know how specific I need to be or should be. Often when you want to create an in-animation, you also want to create an out animation like for a text reveal, or like for a text reveal or a loop. Often when you want to create an in animation, you also want to create an out animation for like a text reveal or a loop. When I was starting out with After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. I used the graph editor to reverse them, to flip them around. Something's tickling me. To flip them around, or I dragged one side of the one keyframe before the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. Okay, often when you want to create an in animation, you also want to create an out animation, like in a text reveal or a loop. When I was starting out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor to flip the keyframes around, or dragged a set of keyframes in front of the other. Dragged a set of keyframes in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes, with one click, my life changed. And I'll show you how to do that. And I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, that's good. Now just memorize it and say it into the camera without mistakes. Okay, so let's take a breath. A sip, actually. I need more bubbly water. I thought more people would arrive on a Thursday. I moved the Friday stream to a Thursday so that maybe some more people would arrive, but no more people arrived. Bit sad. Bit sadsies. But it's okay. My mum's here, so everything's cool. Dripping. Okay, I hope my hair looks okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna probably need a few more takes, more than one take, so let's try this. Often I'm gonna just read it out loud and then I'm gonna say it to camera. Often when you want to create an in animation, you usually want to create an out animation as well. Like for a text reveal or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor to flip them around, or I dragged a set of keyframes in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed. and I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, okay, I think that's good, but I need a darker foreground. That's much better. So my reflection, the reflection in my glasses isn't so extreme. Actually, I'll put it over here. So it's like, doesn't get reflected in my glasses. There's still some reflection going on, but it's not so bad. Or maybe I'll just put it down here. But then it's even more in my glasses. Damn it. How can I have it kind of on screen? I can't look at it anyway. Might as well just put it over here. Okay. So. Something's tickling me in my shirt. Alright. Let's fix these weird flyaway hairs. Often when you want to create an in animation, you usually also want to create an out animation, like for okay. Often when you want to create an in animation, you usually want to create an out animation as well, like for a text reveal or a loop. Or a loop. When I was starting out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flip the keyframes so that they would be reversed, or I'd drag one keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I think that's good, but also I shouldn't go like this. Often when you want to create an in animation, you also want an out animation for a text reveal or a loop. When I was starting out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flip the keyframes around to reverse them, or I'd drag one keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. When I found out how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed. And I'll show you how to do that. Nope. That was fine. I can like cut, but I want to do it better. Also, you can't see my nice little necklace right here. Nope. Where's the center of my shirt? Sorry, a little bit of necklace ASMR. Okay. Can't really see it, but... Often when you want to create an in animation, you also want to create an out animation, like for a text reveal or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flipped the keyframes to reverse them, or I'd drag a keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed, and I'll show you how to do that. Oh my god! I think that was it! Okay, let's save the replay buffer quickly. I think that was pretty good. I'm going to open Handbrake to export that. Let me put my headphones back on. There was like one moment where I looked away from the camera just to like think for a second, but I think I can live with that. I can live with that. Let's see. Need to find the little clip. X. No, actually, I don't need that. Okay, so now I want seconds. I probably need to check front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, maybe I'll just put it, I can't flip, or I'd drag a graph editor around to reverse them, or I'd drag one keyframe in. I like that. I like that little wink there. I could use that. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I think that's good, but also I shouldn't go like this. Wait, just like, okay, I think that's good, but also I shouldn't go like this. Okay, I think from this 2 minutes, 18 seconds, I think I can just get all of that. And then I have a bit of option. All right, then I need to choose my MKV to Mp4 preset. And then I need to browse where I want to put it. It's the reverse keyframes intro. And putting it right here. It's actually, what's the date on the reverse keyframes? 0713, 0713. I'm gonna take the date of the actual ACL of the actual video instead of when I recorded it. So save, and then I just need to start encode, and it should be pretty fast. It's a pretty short clip. It's usually done in a few minutes. So now let's check if there's anything else that I need to get done for this particular little tutorial. And I can also replace this. I don't know. I can either keep this or I can replace this with. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt, the same shirt. Like, it was not planned at all. But I am wearing the same shirt. Oh, right. Yeah, this is the one I'm not using. This is the one I am using. Okay, handbrake is going to take a little while. In the meantime, I could tell you, okay, you never wash? Maybe you should try that sometime. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say tutorials, aside from these streams that I do where you can watch me work live, I do also create little mini tutorials on specific things, on specific, I don't know, like tips and tricks. It's like tips and tricks, usually in After Effects, usually about motion design, sometimes about video editing in Premiere Pro, and you can find them on my YouTube channel, Sonja MGFX. Sorry, I changed my YouTube channel name. If you're currently watching it on YouTube, then you know where it is. And yeah, there's a whole playlist of a whole load of tutorials. And this one is coming up soon in a few weeks. And next week, I think. Next week is the 5th. Yeah, next week from today. This one's coming out. These ones you can watch already. Have I tried DaVinci Dissolve? I have not, actually. I do specialize in After Effects, so that's the software I've used the most and I know the most about. What is DaVinci Dissolve? Is that for motion design or is that for something else? Because I don't do VFX, so if that's for VFX, then is not my area of expertise. But if it is motion design, then I should probably look into that because, you know, Adobe has its issues. We all know that. So might be worth trying a different piece of software. And if you are watching on YouTube, you might be surprised to know that I also have a Twitch. Yay! Oh, DaVinci Dissolve is for video editing. I see. Yeah, now that you say it, it sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of video editing. For me, for myself, you know, for my own kind of stuff for the YouTube and making show reels and stuff like that. And for that, Premiere Pro is plenty. So I usually reach for Premiere Pro when I do video editing. And color correction is like a whole other beast. That's something I can do. I can do it. But I wouldn't say I'm a pro at it. So this has finished encoding. So let's import that file. Which one was it? This one. Whoa, that is so long. Okay, I don't need to take the whole thing. Because I think there are 2 takes in this one. DaVinci Resolve is free. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's really good. That's really cool. I'm all for free software. I mean, of course, if you want really, if you get what you pay for, right? Sometimes with free stuff, it's just not as good as paid for stuff. But sometimes with software that has been around for about a decade, like Adobe, there's a bunch of bugs and issues because it's based on code that if you fix something, you probably break something. So I do understand that discussion. Absolutely. Okay, let's see where the beginning of this is. I'm playing around with the thing for a while. Somewhere around here.
Often when you want to create an image,
in animation, you they use it for Hollywood movies. Yeah, that's cool. Then it must be industry standard. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, Premiere is definitely not industry standard. For motion design, I would say After Effects it is. After Effects probably is industry standard. But yeah, I would say Premiere. There are way better video editing tools. But since I have the Adobe license anyway, it makes sense for me to use Premiere. Oh, you can't stand hearing and looking at yourself. I mean, it's the same for me, but if you want to do a certain thing, like me, I want to edit tutorials and online classes, it's just kind of something you have to do. You have to get used to it, so I got used to it. I don't love it, but
When you
I
want
got
to
used to
create
it.
an in animation, you also want to create an out animation, like for a text reveal or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flipped the keyframes to reverse them, or I'd drag a keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed, and I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's kind of exactly what I wanted. Oh, it's way longer than what I had calculated for, but that's okay. I can just drag this over here and drag this back over here. Oops. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And I want this to be this long. And I make like a weird breathing sound at the end. And I will unlink this so I can cut the audio so the breath isn't in there. But can be like this maybe. Okay, and then I can ripple delete this, and then we have the new end screen. Or all right, let's watch the whole thing. That should be good. It might have a bit of trouble playing it back just because of the lower third. Actually, I'm just gonna pre-render this, which I hate in Premiere Pro. I should probably... No, I did update to the newest Premiere Pro, and I still don't have live preview render thing that I've been advertising. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say, because I actually don't think I have a very nice smile. I think I have a very awkward smile. That's very nice of you to say. Okay, it's almost finished. And we don't need to render the end card. So that should be all good. I'm just going to cancel it now. Okay, let's watch this. Often when you want to create an in animation, you also want to create an out animation, like for a text reveal or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flipped the keyframes to reverse them, or I'd drag a keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you can do to reverse... Okay, so there's like a weird little audio blip in the beginning of this that I don't like, and there are some weird audio blips in the intro as well, which I'll fix. I'll unlink that, cut out the audio there, link that again. Then let's go back to, where is the tutorial here? Yeah, there's like this weird like breath that I might as well remove. Often when you want to create an in animation, you also want to create an out animation, like for text reveal or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, there's like a weird breath here too. I'm just going to use the keyframes to bring this down. Or a loop. When I started out, it's like a weird mouse sound still. I'm gonna try and bring this, take this out. Ah, I don't want to reverse them. No. Okay, there we go. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know. I don't know if I should do a cut here. I don't know if I should do a cut here. Well, I move my head. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do the cut.
Or a loop. When I started out in After Effects, I didn't know how to reverse keyframes easily. What I did was use the graph editor and flipped the keyframes to reverse them, or I'd drag a keyframe in front of the other to reverse the animation. That gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you can do...
How to do that. So what you can do to... maybe I can stay on the smile just a tad longer. Also, does this animate in? Yeah, it does. Okay. So I think I'm gonna put a marker here. This is when I want the talking to start. Yeah. How to do that. All right. 10-second smile. Yeah, like just like stare into the camera. You ready? You're ready for the tutorial? Okay. Should be good like this. No, wait. So what you can how to do that. So what you can do, yeah, it's a little bit less like cut off and like, shut up. Gets fiddly fast. When I learned how to reverse keyframes with one click, my life changed, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you can do to reverse keyframes instead of just cool. Another tutorial in the bag. Yay. Okay, that's gonna be the screenshot for today. The thumbnail for the stream. Cool, that's done. That is all done. Now I have everything, I think. Let me see. We've got the tutorial, we've got the post, we've got the short, we've got the story, we've got the thumb, we've got the stream thumb. Well, we do, yeah, we do have that. We do have that. Yep, cool. And we have the tutorial thumb, which I could use this one or I could use one from here, but I kind of like this one. I think I'm gonna stick with this. Yeah, nice. Cool. Cool. Done. Yeah, and that concludes today's stream. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's bring the lower third back. Nice lower third over here. Yeah, if you did, as always, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I live stream every Tuesday and Thursday every week, and I post a new mini tutorial slash just regular tutorial every week. So if you want to be notified about that, make sure to click the bell icon to be notified on YouTube. And if you, well, first of all, thank you to my patrons for making these videos possible. And if you'd also like to join the classroom on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/SonjaMGFX, and you can also find the link for that in the description. If you don't want to sign up to a monthly subscription but you still want to donate, you can go to ko-fi.com/SonjaMGFX or buymeacoffee.com/SonjaMGFX. And of course you can find all the links in the description as well. If you haven't had enough yet, you want to learn more, you want to give me all your money, I also have online classes. You can find those on my website. They are covering the basics of After Effects, the basics of expressions, Also, more advanced expression techniques of how to create auto-resize shapes to text and resizing text to shapes, and how to create lower thirds, like this beauty right here. Where am I? Here. This beauty right here. Or you can learn how to create those transitions that you saw in my tutorial, and titles and all that good stuff. I have classes on so many things. So if you want to learn more and in a more structured way than just following a live stream or a tutorial, you can enroll in my classes on my website, classes.sonjageracek.me. Links are in the description. And I hope to see you next time. What did I want to say? I don't know. See you then. Bye.